come from the dusty yard. Our people will rise again. Let me heal it. Blessed good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Blessed good afternoon, blessed good afternoon. Once again, you know, this is the day that the Lord has made. We must continue to rejoice and be glad in it. I want to continue to send out some love to Trinidad and Tobago. Send out some love to my UNC family. Send out some love to my coalition team. Brothers and sisters, I want to send out some love to each and every one of our brothers and sisters and Tobago. To my sister over there from Tobago. You are all blessings to you. Blessings to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I must send some love to Cedros here in Buenos Aires and Icacas. Matter of fact, somebody called me the other day. They said, Felix, how it is they send out some love. And when they're dealing with love, love is for everybody. Love is supposed to be unconditional. So to all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the 648 family, matter of fact, and I think I represent it. Between these hours here, this is my hours, and I say blessed good afternoon to my Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I send out some love to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of the UNC this today. Right? So nobody not to feel left out. Again, the conversation is here. Every creed and race finds an equal place. So brothers and sisters, those of us who make up our mind, we're not practicing racialism, we're not practicing negative activity, we're not watching what nobody have and complain about what people have. We actually understand that over the years, games was played. Over the years, people were manipulated along the way. Over the years, decisions was made. And based on the decision that each and every one of our brothers and sisters, this is something that we must take accountability for. We must allow ourselves to be accountable for the decisions that we made that cost us a lot of shortcomings in our lives over the years. This is the only how we can pick up the pieces and move on. Brothers and sisters, what you see taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, this is not an ethnicity fight. This is not an Indian against African fight. This is what it has been marketed as. Because over the years, you must watch and mind your business and realize who utilized that structure to gain. And you have to sit back and evaluate yourself and say, but you see me, despite what, whether I'm African or Indian, despite what, whether I live in Penal, Moruga, or Point Fortin, despite whatever, let me sit back and listen to all those who have the relevant conversation, bringing about the best solution to bring about the change in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the synopsis of our conversation today is peace. Because I think a lot of people is telling me what people in the CARICOM tell them is peace. Them telling me the structure of peace and them telling me what the opposition say about peace. Nobody is saying nothing about what peace actually means. What peace personally means to you, the said person, to me, the said person. Brothers and sisters, as we continue to stand with our Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and her decisions based on CARICOM, our responsibility at some point in time, and we must chisel the conversation down to a community level. So I kind of reached to the point that the level of stupid questions is being asked by the media, the level of foolish questions is being asked on social media, the level of dotishness mainstream media is practicing. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to stand with our government, we must start to discuss the things that we want to see in our community, in our spaces. Again, our governing authority already laid the budget before us. So we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, whether or not it's an African or East Indian, Syrian looking, Chinese, whatever it is, the conversation is here. Every creed and race finds an equal place, and may God bless our nation. So I'm sending out a comprehensive, ladies and gentlemen, a full layout. Blessed good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago. Blessed good afternoon to our brothers and sisters in CARICOM. CARICOM, this question, before I even hand over to my lovely wife to pray, this question is not a pull no pecan conversation. But I am listening to the dialogue coming from a lot of the CARICOM countries who are very active when it comes to dialogue against the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. When it comes to all those who were trying to direct the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who stands as the Prime Minister in an independent nation. Facts. As of 1962, Trinidad and Tobago has been an independent nation. So every single person that have the realm of Prime Minister have a responsibility to make independent decisions, especially when it comes to the nation. Safety and sovereignty. And I must say to a lot of the CARICOM countries, I am rather disappointed. After sitting back over the period of time and listening some of you all argument, it seems to me like racialism continue to be the structure of the day. It seems to me promoting that East Indian people not supposed to hold particular position seems to be the more important conversation. I asked the question today. We sit back on social media in Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister of India came to Trinidad and Tobago, and on his way, citizens were seriously disrespectful. Even the opposition played a very important part in marketing a message to disrespect the Prime Minister of India. And it didn't have a day go by that you in here, how much people went and get a leg. It didn't have a day that is go by where somebody just called me to tell me about, thank God the Prime Minister of India ignored those persons who were practicing nasty conversations. It didn't have a day that's go by. So my responsibility before I hand over to my wife is to make sure, and ladies and gentlemen, I want all to share this information. Make sure the sentiments coming off of 648, the Real Talk program, each and every one of you, the listeners, our viewers, we tell the government of India and the Prime Minister Modi and his delegate, the entire team, nation of India, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I want to tell the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, thank you for not listening to the nasty conversation that have been spoken and continue to be spoken in Trinidad and Tobago. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we stand with you. So after all the nasty conversations, brothers and sisters, it's the same persons that are show up for help. But thank God that Trinidad and Tobago is a praying nation. Thank God we are Christians, Hindus, Baptists, Jehovah Witness, Ethiopian Orthodox, we are Rastafari, we are Muslim, we are every single representing spiritual factor. I never really hear about Jews. You ever hear about Jews here? So probably that's what we're missing. But Trinidad and Tobago is well represented when it comes to spirituality. That being said, I'm done. I hand over to my lovely wife, Annie, to open us up. And I will pray.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. This afternoon, I just want to share some words of encouragement with us. Lover, I want to, right. So the good book says that we perish for a lack of knowledge. So this afternoon, I just want to share some words of knowledge, of inspiration and motivation to us all. And the topic this afternoon for this little nugget of knowledge is progress, lover.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing a few quotes this afternoon. The first one is by Frederick Douglass, and it says, if there is no struggle, there is no progress.
For real.
George Bernard Shaw says,
hold on, don't run past that. Can you repeat that beginning there?
Okay, I think I just want to put in the camera. That's one. Good afternoon, everybody. So yes. So Frederick Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. George Bernard Shaw says progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. This is by Confucius. Who we have again? Albert Einstein says, without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. So we see change again, coming out of your comfort zone, daring to do something different.
Yes.
We have John C. Maxwell who says, the most important thing you can do to achieve your goals is to make sure that as soon as you set them, you immediately begin to create momentum. So this one speaks about actually having the zeal to achieve the progress that you have your mind set on.
Yeah.
And this one, which I think is the deepest of them all, is by Edward Everett Hale.
Yeah.
And he says, coming together is a beginning.
Yes.
Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. So these are some quotes on progress. And of course, we want to go to the good book this afternoon. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 6 says, being confident, in this very thing, that he which began a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. We cannot achieve any form of progress, any form of success if we leave out the master, the maker, the inventor and reinventor, if we leave out him from the equation. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not on thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, these people, and he will direct thy paths. And last but not least, Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31 says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
Yes.
They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Sometimes we lose our zeal. Sometimes we feel discouraged. But if we wait on the Lord, if we stay in the Lord, if we remind ourselves that he is the author and the finisher, that he is our strength, that he is our light and our lamp unto our feet, that he is the I am that I am, that we are created in his image and his likeness, and that together we could be successful because we are our brother's keeper. We ought to love God first with our heart, soul, and mind, and love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Then we could be successful and, of course, enjoy the fruits of our labor and sacrifice together. Enjoy the program, everybody.
I pray.
I pray. This is the prayer of my heart this afternoon.
All right, good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, now is on holiday now because we get at least we get a little 2 minutes. So we go get our full program because honestly, there are people who know what's going on at 640 television, and between me and you, my lovely wife and myself, we just do a good delivery. We doesn't just sit down and agree with everything. We just actually discuss issues, right? We talk about family affairs, current affairs, because she don't really like the whole political aspect. So back in the days when we used to actually do it, I supported, she supported, but we always look at all sides. So at the end of the day, all take all in out for we to get her in front. When we get here, come on, people. She making no commitment. But then, okay, no, yeah,
I am here.
Yeah, at least we in this together. But ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, I want to thank my lovely wife Annie for opening us up with our blessed conversation, blessed quotes from very, very serious contributing factors over the period of time. Those are historians. When you hear the kind of name Albert Einstein and these type of people, you would know that over the years, those are people that made contribution. So again, brothers and sisters, we want to encourage you. Let me mind your business. Let us stay focused and let us stay blessed. So as we continue to discuss, again, ladies and gentlemen, here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a responsibility as citizens that we must play a role of the development in our nation. Now, as much as we hold on to the past, it have people vexed with us for where Trinidad and Tobago is at right now. They cannot vex with us when we utilize the constitutional structure. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, there is government, it has sports, it has community development, it has different aspects and different roles that the public sector, different sector, and different things and different people participate in different programs of the running and the governing of Trinidad and Tobago on a day-by-day basis. Yeah. And brothers and sisters, when you look at the medical sector, at the end of the day, one would want to expect those who actually work in that sector, they have a responsibility to look at the overall delivery and what was being delivered to you, what is being delivered to you, and the conversation you hearing of those who actually have the responsibility to deliver goods and services to you. We are police officers in Trinidad and Tobago. Conversation stands the same. Your responsibility, despite who was actually running and governing you. And before I go forward, I want to send a blessed good afternoon to Carlene. I want to send a blessed good afternoon to Michael, who we are the DJ. Blessed good afternoon. Matilda, blessed good afternoon to you. Who we are again. Miss Pat, nothing but love, sister. Monica, senior in the building. Anthony, blessed good day. Blessed good day. Tara, blessed good day to you. Blessed good day to you. I ain't seen Triple E with the shop. I seen TK, big up yourself. Nothing but love. Hey, look, we have a PNM brother right there. No problem, no problem. Yolanda, bless good afternoon to you. Anthony, I seen you here with us. Keith, bless good day. Big up yourself. Ricky, big up yourself. I ain't seen Pearl. Sammy, I ain't seen Nikki. Nikki, where we people at? Where we people at? Where were UNC people at? I seen Matella, who you have here? Devindra, bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon to each and every one of our brothers and sisters. And as we come up one by one, ladies and gentlemen, from Trinidad and Tobago, Oliver Irvin, direct from the Real Talk studio, matter of fact, on behalf of the entire stable population. And when I say stable, not financially stable, stable as a group of people supporting one cause and understand that we are actually in the process to climax into progress. Brothers and sisters, over the years, nobody can take this from us. This is basic facts. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, we have been battered and bruised. Yes, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Michael, I see this, you know. I see this. But at the end of the day, my responsibility is that we have to stick to the facts of the conversation. The government of Venezuela, no one can divert from what was said and the way how they portrayed themselves. They blatantly disrespected the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And if you disrespect the government of Trinidad and Tobago, you disrespect the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, despite who in government. I think everybody in this country is supposed to have enough basic common sense to know. And I want to ask a question while I'm down this route. I want to find out, because I've been looking for a piece of data. Could somebody send the information for me? What day did Venezuela sign on to be a part of CARICOM? What year did Venezuela sign the treaty to be a part of CARICOM? Because for some strange reason, CARICOM nations and people like them not understanding what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. CARICOM nations turn their back on a part of their own brother and sister. Now, mind me, this thing could have been done more respectful. At the end of the day, one would want to expect that Barbados is an independent nation, unless our brothers and sisters who are utilizing the conversation telling me that Trinidad and Tobago is a zone of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so insulted by some of the statements that is being distributed in the name of politics, in the name of supporting the opposition. It is so disgusting. It is so disgusting. These people on national platforms, they're calling in national radios, and their argument is that the sovereignty of Trinidad and Tobago, everything is stable, man. Everything is good. And they're trying to explain to me, Irvin, you don't understand what is peace. Because listen to me, Trinidad and Tobago is a zone of peace. What they failed to realize before the signature went down on that given day to sign for a zone of peace, there was Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago didn't start after that day. There was Trinidad and Tobago. So when you explain to me that your CARICOM stand that you take, which is literally standing against Trinidad and Tobago, now I keeping it real with brothers and sisters, mean asking you to support Mr. Keys, I mean begging you to support the Prime Minister. But the least you could do is have some respect for your own country. Some of you sit back in Trinidad and Tobago and on behalf of failed leadership. You could imagine, ladies and gentlemen, where we are in this country as a citizen, as a man who have children, as people who have children, as grandparents who have grandchildren. Over the years, I sitting back and listen how loud the conversation. Open when we get any pension. Even when we gain this, I say, well, all right, it is justifiable. It is yours. But your responsibility right now is to sit back and condemn the entire government. Sit back now and tell me that my Prime Minister, listen, last week Friday, the budget clear, that's all. Last week Friday, today's Friday, I listened to the conversation, the jump out police officers ain't get a pay. When you listen to the conversation, the same police structure come out and explain some conversation, some mix up with the bank, nothing to do with government. And this is what is being distributed and marketed. And I ain't come here to sit down and tell you part of the blame is not the government. I ain't come here to sit down and play pity party with nobody. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, each and every conversation is for the like and the benefit of our people, brothers and sisters, and of our government. So if we sit back and speak about a shortcoming, not today, not tomorrow, it might be next week, it's no disrespect of our government. And if you understand the leader that we have, a lot of people continuing to speak for the Prime Minister, the opposition speaking for the Prime Minister, citizens in this country speaking for the Prime Minister. The conversation of the day is that Trinidad and Tobago should give up independence. Listen to the conversation. Our Prime Minister, who have the responsibility to make decisions on every citizen, somehow all seen is race. That is what keeping back this country. Somehow all seen is race. That is what holding back this nation. Understand the amount of things that was delivered long before the budget. Our government is only sitting in the office 6 months and a couple of days. Brothers and sisters, me telling you I think for you to get vexed for. Because I sit back and listen to some of the conversation when people say they go by particular offices. And if it is you telling me that you didn't sit back and listen to Prime Minister read the Riot Act for the same persons who support him, she sat back and not sat back, she stand up and she spoke to the entire of Trinidad and Tobago despite where you politically stand. When you walk in an office, nothing but respect. Listen to me. Nothing except respect should be delivered. Now at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, those of us who support along the way, assure the government make room and assure Trinidad and Tobago, all you have to know, all you have to give leeway. Because we know people who sit back, these people and them who sat back over the 9 years and 8 months without employment. Just this morning, I was in Point 14, the United National Congress win election. One of our business owners, all the time they're good with him. He's an Indian African on top, no problem. This man have nothing to do with politics. He never run for councillor. He never run for MP. He never stand in no gap as to want to be no political leader in Point 14. And after the United National Congress win the election, Point 14 was won by the UNC. Somebody tell them it's only Indian people in the UNC. This morning I stand up in front of the man business place with him and they're cussing the man how Indian he is and how wicked he is because he feel because Indian win election. And all the man asking, excuse me, sir, to just clear my driveway because customers trying to come in. Imagine you asking somebody who park up alongside you. They ain't even park up in the driveway, they park up blocking the driveway. You ain't have no major business like that. You are a small business, and on top of that, the persons who working in your business in Point 14, working, they're being hired. The people who working in the business from Point 14. Indian and African hired in the man business. They still stand up and cuss that man in front of the business and tell the man how Indian he is and how nasty he is. And he don't want to see nobody live. And all he asking, because the people who come into shop and drive in, obviously that they get somewhere to park. It is his responsibility to make accommodation. And today people cussing the man in Point because PNM lost election. They're cussing the man in Point 14. Why? Why? When you sit back and you watch the people who actually supporting these people, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell all this time for we to mind me business. I cannot continue to be sitting back and reminding people, yellow is the code. We don't know that. We can't continue to try to convince nobody. Miss Kamala come to work for the people. She don't care about ethnicity. She don't care if a comb could slip through your hair or if your hair hard. She don't care about that. She don't care about the color of your skin, if you're fair skin or your dark skin. Nobody cares about that. Could you deliver the service that are looking to hire you for? Could you be a team player? You're willing to give an honest day work for honest day pay wherever you're working? You willing to be a part of building the structure so that the next budget that Trinidad and Tobago is going to be ready? You want to be a part of bringing in resources so our grandparents get increase? I want to be a part of that. You have to want to be a part of that because someday we go get old and we don't want to be living in a nation where your nation collapsed, where all the young people throw up their hand in the air. We have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. We have a responsibility to make responsible decisions along the way. And those of us that support and stand with our honorable government, I continue to send love to my member of parliament at Point Portland. But brothers and sisters, what we're dealing with, just like when my prime minister said, just like when Barry Padarat said, the member of parliament said, this thing is way over politics. It is way over politics. The fact at the level of victimization that took place in this country, that is way over politics level. So then what we want our government to function in the capacity to bring about the redress while we work with them, setting the structure to deliver goods and services. And it looked to me, based on what I see, the only prime minister in CARICOM that willing to stand up for the citizens and keep it real is Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. Ladies and gentlemen, some of those folks all on the Facebook page, even some of our viewers and listeners, and they don't like the decision the Prime Minister make when it comes to the CARICOM structure, because Trinidad and Tobago is a zone of peace. And even you don't know what a zone of peace means. They sign a treaty. And you're supposed to understand what a zone of peace means. Blessed good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Felix.
Blessed afternoon. What's going on, big brother?
Yeah, I did it. I see a message.
Well, I did message yesterday concerning the thing, but here is now you happen to be live on air right now, so bring some greetings to the 648 family and let them know who you are and where they could find you, because I know you just deliver content.
Yeah.
So bring some greetings to the people and let them know your page and where to find you now, man.
All right, cool. We're live now?
Yes, we're on program here. Right now you're live on air.
All right. Yeah, bless you. Bless each other, everybody.
Yes, man. Best please tell me which spot, tell the people where to find you. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I know it's a good one. And I have some elderly brothers and sisters, I have some people in Trinidad and Tobago that like good vibes. And I know you just push good vibes. So tell the people your page and tell them where to find you.
But I just realized that really majority call there's one was important. You understand? Concerning the awareness, it was the message about yesterday with the accident.
Yeah.
I will just bring it up one time as we speak.
Yes, brother.
Well, you know, we have a lot of crazy drivers and this incident happened like where I probably went to that area. He bounced my grandmother because he was speeding too fast and he was trying to take a picture. I went up on the pavement and bumped my grandmother.
Whoa.
He ended up taking she to the hospital, and when he reached the Point Portland hospital, he told the nurse that he saw her laying at the side of the road, so he just brings she and chucks she up in the hospital.
Whoa.
But it so happened that they end up finding a trace of tobacco, I think 21%, so nobody can have one visitor in the hospital.
Right.
But it was treatable. So she ended up getting discharged Tuesday.
Right.
And it's only when I make a video Tuesday with her, a lady stopped me in Point Porter and she told me she know who is the guy did it. And she actually drove me up the road and I saw the house.
Right.
But the police was involved and everything, and he ended up getting 2 charges.
Right.
One for reckless driving, and 2 driving without insurance.
Right. Whoa. Whoa.
So you see?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. So
But
that
in my heart, I was kind of happy that, you know, he still takes share because he could have just leave shed side road, you understand?
yeah.
So I still find it in my heart to forgive him for what he did. But he do something wrong, and what goes on comes out wrong. We all know that wherever I give out in this world, it gets back. So you give out bad, they get back bad. They get back good, they get back. They do good. Understand?
Vespi, I wanted to fit in this piece of conversation here, ladies and gentlemen. That's why since he called, I tell him to give his content. I'll listen to it in a bad story. Vespi look at the positive in it, and sometimes in a lot of places, this is what we need. In a bad position, because that's your grandmother, and he still look at the positive in it. Although the law had to play its part and listen to the circumstances. Vespi, tell the people where to find you.
Yes, well, I live well, the street where I live is over there on neighbor.
No.
Opposite angle, that's right.
No, your social media platform.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Vespi Rising.
Yeah. Vespi Rising.
Most here, 21K followers. Because that profile with my name on it, and it's not me.
Right.
It's a fake profile.
So what are you looking for?
So you look at Vespi Rising, you will see 29K followers. That is my profile.
Lovely. But I believe after today, it could be bigger than that. So you have to come up with our next story to tell people how to find it.
All right.
All right, big brother.
Yeah,
big brother, and I hope that your grandmother is well, brother. You just, and what's me? You stay focused and stay positive, big brother.
Oh, she is me, but she's 7 years, but she's strong. I can see that.
Right. Then
She's strong.
Then she on behalf of the Real Talk family 648, we saying get well soon, man.
All right, I will.
Yes, big brother. And thanks much for the call.
Yes. There's no problem.
So ladies and gentlemen, now let's see what's going on. I'm a boy Vespi, so you're looking for Vespi on social media. Vespi, I think he'll be on TikTok, he'll be on Facebook. And top of that, he had a little movie thing running the other day. He's a very active fella, and he's a good fella too. You understand? So, big up to boy Vespi. But at the end of the day, listen what about Vespi grandmother. The gentleman bounced she down. But thank God he pick her up, drop her by the hospital, still leave a very disturbing story. But thank God, and to the lady that actually reach out to Vespi and give the information, Miss you is a hero. Use a hero as saying thank you very much. And brothers and sisters, let me explain something to you. Notice how Vespi explained that, especially in Point 14, it has some young fellas that be driving and they're speeding. You listen to that story end up there. Vespi grandmother get bounced down. I think the lady foot break. And on top of that, she's an elderly lady. So the grace you're living by at this age, you thanking God for it. And then a young man, driving a vehicle, no license, no insurance. And bounce down Tanti, break Tanti foot. Now let me tell you something. First, that is a common conversation. And first, it affects families in Point 14. Let me explain something to you. I'm a landlord, I don't want to know too. Right on Warden Road. Tanti Christine and she son, them driving going on. Them living in Truckman trees, coming out Warden Road and they coming in. Now hold on. Warden Road and they coming in. And when they reach by the road now, I look at the turn to go in. A car busting coming down. Hit Tanti Christine head on, bradang. Up to today, my aunt gets herself. When you listen to the conversation and why nobody's arrested, you need to understand the gentleman who was in the accident connected to particular persons who play a particular role in Point 14. So that is the next reason why I tell you that I need all the help. to bring some adjustment to Point Fortin Borough Corporation. Because you could bounce down somebody family, and for some strange reason, the police can compile the relevant data because this one know this one and this one family have the responsibility to make sure this one working and nobody can snitch because at the end of the day, it's easier for me to pay my bills than tell this story that is truthful to bring about redress. You find the owner of the car. The owner, what's the thing dangerous? You find the owner of the car, you find the driver of the car. The day when the accident take place, the car move instantly. And that is the responsibility that my aunt can, that is the excuse why my aunt can't get no redress. And that is how it going. I say that to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, I was telling you, every single department in Trinidad and Tobago have a role and it have a function. It have a role and it have a function. 2 days ago, I shared a video on Facebook with a young lady that explained that she went to Princestown Police Station. And the level of conversation that the police officer having with this young lady who just went to get a police report. A certificate of character to state that you are a good, law-abiding, upstanding citizen. And when you go there, you have to hear conversations. Think we have to be real good to be having them kind of conversations. We have to be on a different level to be having them kind of conversation. If them conversation have to be had. And the person who having the conversation is somebody that if your life is in danger, listen to me. If somebody is being sexually assaulted or sexually attacked, the person who talking to you in that degrading way is the person that you have to call if you see somebody being sexually assaulted. And you stand up in the police station giving a report and being sexually harassed. And you know what has been the bad and the dangerous thing about it? This is what I tell all you. We had to chisel the conversation down. The Trinidad and Tobago. Our government already did their part. Right now, we want proper representation from all those who actually standing in the positions. The police service, we listen to the cries over the years. Right now, the citizens depending on you. To the doctors and the nurses, we listen to the cries, the ward attendants. All of you, we listen to the cries, each and every public servants, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, just in case you think that we didn't know, we was listening it all the time. And we find it was rather disrespectful. That is part of the reason why we stood with Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Even people who supported the former administration come to terms. The former administration was given 2 terms, 9 years and 8 months. And they never find it fit to offer only at least 8%, 9%. 10% was a disgrace. While the former leader, the former prime minister, comfortably take 47% right before your eyes. And their followers and their supporters paid it comfortable. The excuse why we're supposed to accept it and why Ms. Kamala and the opposition shouldn't speak about it is because the opposition guy increased. But we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we must always keep our conversation balanced. Who had the majority vote? Like today, UNC is being victimized. It's being looked upon like that is a wrong thing. When the former administration was in office, they boast about the majority vote. They boast about the majority power that they had in the parliament. They sat back and broke a serious structure in Trinidad and Tobago that any stable-minded citizen would have never expected. The procurement legislation, ladies and gentlemen. The Procurement Act that was put in place to make sure and keep this transparency between the people of Trinidad and Tobago and not the government and their monies. And the People's National Movement, the former Prime Minister went and scrapped that because they had the majority support. They utilized it for the wrong thing, to keep secrets, to hide things from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Why would you, as a Minister of Finance, come up with an excuse to make adjustment of millions of dollars? Say that you're doing it on behalf of the citizens and don't want to explain to the citizens. Understand the type of games that was played. Granny Bless, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. God bless you. God bless your family.
Thank you, thank you.
God bless you, studio. God bless my government. God
Amen.
bless my Prime Minister.
Amen.
Blessings to everyone.
Yeah.
Naked,
Yes.
naked man.
Yes.
God bless all your people, every
Yes.
sister,
Amen.
all your bring happiness to me and
Yes.
me today.
Amen. Amen, Granny.
Today we happy.
Yes.
When that white man come from Canada,
Mm-hmm.
that white man went without that gun,
Mm.
without that police, and all the person to the back.
Yes.
And the white man happened to show what is taking place in Canada.
Yes.
Now, before Rowley, the Rasta man, the Chinese man, and bottles all of them pick up the matter in there, family situation right away.
Mm-hmm.
Just something when that comes to this state today.
Yeah. True.
They look up the white man, they champion, they banning from coming to that.
Yes.
I hope that God help you
Yeah.
to get out that man, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. That is true,
What
Granny.
they couldn't do with arms and ammunition, a white man do it. What they cannot do now,
Yes.
a old Indian lady and a old white man
Yes.
have all of them to produce,
Yes. Yes.
and they're doing it.
Yes.
I must be very thankful
Man.
and grateful
Yes.
to Alexander
Yes.
and to Winston
Yes.
and Trinidad and Tobago Police Force
Yes.
for having this country without it and ceremonies and the gang thing every weekend.
Yes. Yes.
People not scared, putting on the eyes and watch,
Yes.
and people carry a country further.
Mm.
I watching to see better, and she grew a company.
Yeah. She grew up company.
So the things of workers are becoming black. Trying to come back to my then. Don't stand up to that horrible.
Yes. Yes.
Trump and Moody, all of them, don't stand up to them.
Yeah.
I want to see veterans and CNN will collect so much money in 9 years.
Thank you.
What they will have to take that each girl will help.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you much, Granny. Thank you much. Thank you much. And I think Granny make a very important point. I want to believe that Granny seriously make a very important point. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if it is justifiable, because the government of Trinidad and Tobago is already in dialogue with Venezuela. The government of Trinidad and Tobago is already in dialogue with CARICOM. For some strange reason, CARICOM and Venezuela need the sentiments of the opposition. No problem. No problem. They say that is the formula that they are accustomed to. So based on after 9 years and 8 months and the amount of monies that absent from particular places in Trinidad and Tobago, we the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, after all the old talk and mama guy, we would sit back and we would await the day that the People's National Movement pack in the package to send to Jamaica. We go wait the day, despite all the old talk and mama guy, because when Miss Kamala Persad make a decision, she only make it on behalf of UNC citizens. It's only open the door for that. When she make a decision, she only make it on behalf of UNC citizens. And then remember, let me keep it real. Keep the same conversation in perspective. Remember, she only sending things for Indian people in Jamaica. Because I will always marketing to the globe. I will always say, that is how always say the government functioning. Despite how the government look, how much African, how much East Indian people, how much different people doing different jobs, how much different people have different roles and responsibility. Look, I sit down in front of you talking this afternoon. Despite how much people doing different things, They only see in the East Indian people that contributed. And I want to say in Trinidad and Tobago today, that is the average basic thinking African problem in this country. Or you have no respect for all your own African brothers and sisters. I mean, it is appreciative that you could realize what we East Indian brothers and sisters doing. It is nice that you realize what they own. But it is not your responsibility to sit back and grow up your children talking about what these people accumulate. And it are African people right around you, some of them in your own family. And you can't even come to a family function and say, cause you know you really do good. Sandra, you know what now? 8 years ago when you were talking about opening up that little business day, because that is what we have in we family. But they don't talk about that side of our family. When it's time to talk about that, all they sitting down and all they talking about Indian people. The police go and rough up somebody, all they sitting down and talking about the East Indian brothers and sisters. You get paid late, you're sitting down and talk about the East Indian brothers and sisters. Your husband beat you, you're sitting down and talking about the East Indian brothers and sisters. You get robbed, you're sitting down and talking, and that ain't help nobody. 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 While the East Indian brothers and sisters dealing with their own problem in their own community, this is why they market their culture. This is why they market what they do on a daily basis. When you see a commercial from Annan Low Price, Annan Racial, I want to see some commercial coming from Dexter too. But when we get in time to sit down and think and develop a Dexter, and I never tell nobody he don't want no African with grocery. All the Chinese grocery were open, never tell nobody that in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't need no African owning no grocery. So I'm still trying to understand the level of conversation that some of us as African, and when people like myself sit down and talk, we sell out. When I sit down and I'm talking about African people that make it to the Hall of Fame, or they're missing all of that. That is impossible to all you. Granny, bless good day again.
I forget what
Talk to me.
but we 12 o'clock news. I hear them, one of them. They're talking about people, why the government don't bring back the photograph, the one that took away the photograph, like the road.
Yes.
Must come in. And these people right now we have
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Come on.
And bring other rights of and to clear what
Yeah. Talk to me. Is that making sense, Granny? Thank you.
Every ministry, but you know that's what I am.
Thank
And
you.
the too much. Everybody getting that you are getting right. But I
Thank you. Thank you. That is the thing. Thank you much, Granny. Thank you much. Granny don't play. Granny just keep it real right too. Report bless good day. To the person who bought this, excuse me, young lady, let me explain something to you. This is my problem at all. You will put this on the page. Listen, stop telling lies, right? There are lots of Africans. Do you have that on your wall? Do you have that markup? Or do you tell your family members that? That is the level of the conversation I am having, sister. I never tell Trinidad and Tobago they were unsuccessful Africans. Understand where we're coming from. We reached to the point it's time to stop playing games. 3 young gentlemen just walk in a store and stick up the people and take rum, cigarette, even slap the lady. Understand what is being taken place and what is being displayed in Trinidad and Tobago. Slap the lady. Nobody don't know what that lady and her family going through. Nobody don't know that lady brother or sister. Pity the police doing the relevant investigation and finding out them gentlemen, identifying them gentlemen, and them gentlemen identity end up in the news. Understand the type of people in this country who not playing games with their family. These young men going in people's business place and violating the employees, violating the business owners, and all not understanding what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. It's time to stop playing games. If you know it as successful Africans, start to market that. Start to market that. Stop having the average young African in Trinidad and Tobago believing that East Indian people and Syrian people and Chinese people own everything. The reason why African, especially young Africans in this country, practicing crime and sticking up and robbing people, because a lot of our aunts and uncles and grandparents told them African are nothing because Indian people control business. And when you do the research and find out who was sitting in the class, them and we uncle, them and we mothers was in the same class. It's time the conversation get real and stop talking garbage when all in the public domain. If you know it as successful Africans, brothers and sisters, what we gonna do? We go wait until the East Indian community, who does do a wonderful job at marketing the culture, marketing everything. We go wait until them get fed up at promoting Indian to wait for African to get promoted. Don't come here to argue with me. Don't come here to argue with me. If you know you contributed in trying to bring about some sort of change in the African community, then bring that conversation here. If the PNM supporter thing, you cannot have that level of conversation with me. I'm telling you straight, it will always end in embarrassment for you. You could send a minister, you could send a senator, you could send whoever it is you want from the PNM camp. It will always end in embarrassment. So don't come here if it is you come here on PNM structure. This is no plain thing taking place here. We are young people robbing people and jumping on bicycle and riding away. Slap the lady in the business place. You know what could seriously happen if them young fellas' identity or when them young fellas' identity, because this is why I'm telling you, with police officers, or let's see how tied up all we have in this conversation. Because even said the same woman who get robbed by the counter, if she end up in Princeton police station, 9 out of 10 while making she report, if she bounce up the same police. Imagine the level of conversation. That's where I'm coming from, sister. This has nothing to do with Indian and African right now, election done. This has nothing to do with PNM and UNC. But don't vex with me when I tell you yellow is the code. Don't vex with me when I tell you that. But this has nothing to do with PNM and UNC. The people of Trinidad and Tobago already explained to you the level of delivery by the former administration. It was disgusting. It was poor, appalling. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have a responsibility to make sure that we never go down that path again. But while we do that, our responsibility is to have the relevant conversation in front of our government. Today, ladies and gentlemen, there are people in this country talking about Trinidad and Tobago is a zone of peace. We stand with the CARICOM and zone of peace. Let me tell you something. Stop making yourself a fool in this country. In 10 years, we had 10,467 murders. Don't make yourself a damn fool. And at the end of the day, what? All your marketing. Now listen to the nitty-gritty of what all your marketing. All your marketing that Trinidad and Tobago is a zone of peace. The businessman, not in peace. The mothers, not in peace. Now I could give an explanation for everything I say in here. Just follow me, we're talking. The women, not at peace. Our grandparents are not at peace. based on some of our children's behavior, they are not at peace. I just explained to you. We mothers are not at peace. I could add to that our fathers, they are not at peace. I want to encourage you. You at the time, go up on any news platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Check any serious blogger, and take your time and scroll back. Go on my Facebook page, Urban Felix, you're looking for this logo here on Facebook. And you just take your time and scroll back. You as a human being, explaining to anybody in the world that you living in Trinidad and Tobago at peace, people know it's politics you're talking. You're walking down the street and these young people walking up to you and busting out your chain and go with it. In some cases, they're walking off. Woman stand up at the side of the road with the children and the child, and man walking up on them and kick them down and take their handbag. Well, let's start to tell me when I lie. Start to tell me when I exaggerated. Please. Old people sitting down in the houses. People come in and beat them up. Rough them up. They even care if it's a camera. That's why you're talking this. Because the content on social media. The content on social media. A old man in the kitchen making a cup of tea. Oh my God. Up to today, none of us knows Tanti contribution. The old man making a cup of tea. She down in age and them young boy come in the woman's house. The cuff the woman. Kick the woman. Take the woman little kakada. This is where we live in. And we out there marketing to the world. Listen to me. Listen to me. Businessman, nobody don't know how much paperwork he compile. Nobody don't know how much work he work to save up his money. Nobody don't know. And over the years, they're doing good. You have to stoop to conquer. And people talking down on you, but you make up your mind, you're opening a store. I'm opening my hairdressing place, I'm opening my barber shop. I'm opening my retail outlet, I'm opening my double stand. I'm opening my furniture place, whatever it is, you make up your mind, I'm opening it. My Polori parlor. I'm selling pillow, I'm opening up my pillow place. I'm opening up my basic parlor in the community. Nobody don't know how long you take. They don't know how much people you ask for the startup. And we sitting down in Trinidad and Tobago marketing, we living in peace. They ain't just going in the businessman place and rob the businessman. They ain't just going in the businesswoman place and rob the businesswoman. They're leaving them unalive. So they have no opportunity in the future to bring about support and financial stability to the entire family. Because in a lot of cases, the little kakada where you watching and thinking is big. The vehicle you watching and thinking them is rankers. Sometimes that's the only form of happiness because the money just circulating to the family and have to head back in the business. And the business is just to bring forward a contribution to the community, provide a service. And with me providing a service, again, an opportunity where I could pay a bill in my family. It's the same light bill you have to pay, I have to pay. When you get up 6 o'clock in the morning and going out and look for your dollar, my responsibility is make sure I look for proper product to deliver to you. 2 are we working? And your child allowed to come in my business place after all my sacrifice and rob me my thing. Take my thing and leave me unalive. Over the years, the level of the level of hypocrite conversations. You only have only encouraged this criminality by. When people tell you the former administration and the supporters, brothers and sisters, those of you who pull away to this young lady who typing up here because you on your way are pulling away. All you understand what it is people participated in over the years. understand. While we own family, I and all have a little nephew in jail for murder. You know. This ain't no joke thing. Me ain't telling you he's guilty. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you he's innocent. But I could tell you he's in jail for unaliving somebody. This is what our young people has been caught up in. And if we continue to make excuses and nobody take responsibility, what make us reach here? Why some young ladies in school who all of them parents, one would want to assume, fight up to buy their school shirt, their school skirt, their school sneakers and their socks, the books, in a lot of cases. And I send my child off to school and I on work, minding my business. And one of my co-workers had to call me and say, shall you see this girl? Dexter, you see this boy? And when you tune in to watch your child who you drop off, 7:45 in the morning, holding on to the railing in the school, and this children coughing she up in she head, coughing she up in she ribs, and nobody don't know who is that young girl family. Or they understand the danger that we put in ourselves in. We cannot continue to navigate. And then when real conversations start, you start to talk racialism. It's time we deal with our problems and stop diverting our problems to other people and other ethnicities. Cut it out. You talking to an African person over the age of 50 and them look at you in your face and tell you anytime you win election, what they ever do for you. That's supposed to be a blatant insult to you. That's supposed to be an insult to you. What the hell are you telling me? The People's National Movement run and govern this country for over 60 years. You support them. Were you telling me? What the hell we doing asking for community centers in 2025? What the hell we doing asking for adequate street lights in 2025? Adequate sidewalks in 2025? Up to today, ladies and gentlemen, I got a report coming from Londonville, Palmis. I get to understand they're playing electricity games and water games in Palmis. How the hell these things can be comfortable? I want to ask my government. Blessed good afternoon, cousin. You're live on air. He said, yes. Hold on. Vestry calling there just now. Ladies and gentlemen, look how God don't sleep. You listening to me, son?
Yeah.
Right. You're live on air here. I just want a little confirmation with our conversation, and I need you to explain something to Trinidad and Tobago for me. Because Vespri just calling here and Vespri grandmother get bounced down. The driver happened to pick she up, but he dropped she by the hospital, and he tell the hospital that he see she lie down on the side of the road, but in reality, he didn't really bounce she down. Ladies and gentlemen, I told earlier about my aunt who was in the accident and my cousin who was in the car. This is my cousin who was in the car. He said, you could tell us how the accident took place?
Well,
In a nutshell, tell the people how it take place. When it was in the car, how the drive take place, and how far you reach with the matter.
Well, the matter still on pending because to start with, no kind of advantage is not the matter. From Portillo from over the road, coming from East Street side, coming down to Shotman Street Village. Coming down the road and hearing these cars racing coming down the road. And to get straight to the point, why we make a stop on the bottom of Shotman Street. We just see the car take the corner from the opposite direction. All I saw was a light. And that was it from the light. We was the stop point. While spinning two other cars racing behind him coming, there was a 5-car split up. And up to this day, no kind of proper investigation has been taken place. The police have all the information, but no kind of judgment has been passed them so far. That was last year, November the 6th. After the my mother still working, she's still on wheelchair.
You can explain
Wait, you
can explain to the people the position your mother ended up in after the accident.
After killing Stephen Shilling in the hospital, she imagine the steel, the nut and bolt came out of her leg when she was home. And that was because she put about 4 times to try to get rectified. And after today, she's still claiming that everything coming along, but after last week, she's still taking out stitches, but they say everything clear, and they just keep forgetting things, and she mental going, because she's not a person to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's frustrating. She's still, so right now, she's still getting problems to stand up since the last year, November, from being an active woman, for who know my mother.
Yeah.
From being an active woman to this, waiting on justice.
Madness. Madness.
Right?
Madness.
I said an answer because I don't want to say much about the investigation because it has nothing much to talk about.
Well, let me ask you a question. So wait is the thing, they're not moving fast enough or you all ain't getting the redress?
They're not moving fast enough, right? The police and them, they change up the police and them. And to me, they're moving at all. Because they know all the relevant information, but we are just not going through it. We're not going through this investigation.
Well, basically, I just asked that day so that the people and them could get an understanding of where I'm coming from. Because earlier on, I explained to them that obviously nothing in going forward with that because somebody connected to somebody who connected to somebody, and that this person sharing. So
they're in the same circle. Is it the same circle?
Ladies and gentlemen, all you understand what's going on there. So better hear what's going on there. You open up a door for the relevant persons to reach out to you. So as soon as I get a phone call, I go forward them the relevant persons there.
I will appreciate that.
Yes.
As soon as I come over here, I would like to speak to you. Thank you.
No problem, big brother.
God bless you.
Blessings. Well, look at what's going on. So just like I break this story down there. Them going home. Stop the swing to go up Trotman Street. The car coming from out Warden Road, hit them head on, Bradang, car spin. Now you see, it's a good thing he called in to complete the conversation was a 5-car smasher. The beginning of that conversation, that bacchanal start down on the beach. Investigation don't take place. Who pull gun for who down on the beach? Bad man thing going on down on the beach. Ranking thing, we stop ranker. And then leave from on the beach speeding. Zigzagging through point. Point is a plain place. One could bounce down granny and drop she by the hospital like small thing. And meet she lie down there. And these young boys and them could bounce down, bounce my aunt and my cousin. He and all end up damaged bad to it. Catch the angle of coming from, you notice I went Princess down. For some strange reason, we talk about 2 matters. But the nice thing with Vespri matter is that the police activate. Now, brothers and sisters, we the people in Trinidad and Tobago, this is why we had to start a chisel long thing. You see that dotishness with people marching in England and marching in Venezuela with my Prime Minister face? If my Prime Minister have to continue doing what she's doing, well, then the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to get themselves in alignment. We have to get every country moving. And with getting the country moving, we have to put the relevant structures in place. So here it is. Once the relevant structure in place and people understand that is a different season, is a different time. So we must utilize the opportunity we have. I continue to send love to my Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I send love to my Member of Parliament at Point 14. Matter of fact, I send love to the entire UNC Coalition family Tobago. Remember, I continue to send love to you. But brothers and sisters, let me explain something to you. Yesterday, I saw a video on social media. The nitty-gritty of the video, officers again. Now, I want each and every person who have an office, a police officer in all your family, I want to ask you to do something for me, please. I want to ask everyone at the viewer here, even the naysayers who sit down in the background with all them out long, vexed because I'm talking. No problem with that. I want to ask all of you to do something for me, please. You see when you head out the road and the sun jamming you, you're on the road, you're in traffic, you see him walking or you see walking, but the place blazing hot. And you see the police officers and them in the hot sun. In some cases, they stop you and ask you to drop your window, please. License and insurance, please, sir. Or they might say license and insurance only. Either way, I want to encourage all of you to have all the license and all the insurance, please. Why? One, there's a routine search. The police are the authority for that. Two, is that the same police officers who are asking for it. One, they're asking to make sure that you're legal on the road. And two, that is the work. And I don't know about all of you, despite what they say about police officers, the generation not coming after, we're going to have to get police officers out of that. The police officer in Princess Town, they disrespect the entire force. So I hope when they suspend you, the public get the relevant information. Because we can't continue to keep those kind of activities secret and the public continue thinking that they can't go Princess Town police station. Because nobody can get me to believe they don't have good police officers in Princess Town police station. Just like how you can't convince me it ain't have good police in Point Fortin police station. I put you in your place, you can't come down with that. Especially my municipal police. You can't get me in that point. Well, yesterday video, we had some ladies, some of the women outside in their brassiere, canteen she vest, look a little younger than my mother. And the conversation is, you're by the wrong apartment. You're by the wrong apartment. And the police fighting to get in the apartment because obviously the officers in the woman's apartment, based on how they acting like they're right. Like they have reason to be there because they come to look for somebody. To the police officers that was on the scene, even the officer that walk up when the lady asked the right question and walk off. To that officer, I didn't look at you as a comrade. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Success in the house.
Success in the building. Talk to me, success. What's on your mind today, man?
Okay, all right. You hear the news? Trump give the okay to bomb Venezuela, why? Yeah, he give the okay to bomb Venezuela. So right now, America is poised to bomb them.
You didn't find it suspect that Trump had meeting with China? Trump been talking with Vladimir Putin. On top of that, based on what I understand, he have a meeting with Kim Jong-un. So Trump have been talking to all the people that Venezuela boasts that is their ally. Now at the end of the day, what it is I've been trying to explain to Trinbagonian citizens, and I realized they wasn't taking it into consideration. All the big and all the bad, Venezuela big and bad at the end of the day. Venezuela is Russia competition. Venezuela is also China competition. Venezuela is all of them competition. So yes.
Let me take.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I think you see, we try to understand this. When Maduro could tell Trump, right, that Russia, China, and Iran, right, he willing to give up all of them, right? Put them under the bus then, right? Take my oil, take my gold, take my resources, right? But leave me and my government in charge. What do you think Russia, China, and Iran will think of me?
Yeah. Hold on. We have some investigating person here.
Yeah.
Somebody saying that information the CNC3 put out is damning information.
No, I didn't get it from CNC3.
All right, where you got that?
No. I got it from a fellow called David Hockstead.
All right.
right?
Yeah.
He's a man of real information from inside the White House itself.
All right.
And he has come and given full time information.
Lover. All right. Well, all right. Let me where are you, lover? All right. You go ahead, caller. You talk by the time. Do a little research on it.
Yeah.
Trump instruction. Yeah, you go ahead, caller.
Yeah, tell him pull up David Hockstead.
Now being can pull up
Right.
David Hockstead. Caller, what's going on with me
All right.
is that the person whom my mother married to my stepfather actually
Yeah.
is a military man. So we don't really
All right.
yeah. We don't really
Okay.
participate. Yeah. So you
Understand.
yeah.
But the thing about it, when you're willing to put your allies on them under the bus,
Mhm.
you know your allies on them will have a different feeling towards you. From that point in time, they will be watching you different.
Thank you.
You understand?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
So anyway, I go on.
Thank you,
God bless.
Thank you much.
All right.
No, that is a good point. Because Venezuela play games and at the end of the day, as much as we don't wish no violence, we don't enjoy that conversation. But Venezuela know what they're dealing with. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I tell you the conversation since earlier on in the week. Venezuela sitting back and boasting, and the only thing they're boasting about, they ain't really boasting about the military. When they're talking military talk, they're talking that with Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. When they're talking ranking talk and storming talk and invasion talk and bad boy talk, it's Trinidad and Guyana they're talking about that with. Trinidad and Guyana we don't have no jet, we don't have nothing like that. Bless God day Freeport. Only let me get that information and he's doing a little thing with. Bless God day Freeport. Talk to me, big brother.
Good afternoon. All things with you, Bobby.
A day by the grace of God, we're moving on. We're moving forward. Talk to me, day Freeport. How you doing today?
I see your partner went to protest today for the thing.
Yeah.
But at the time when he wasn't for the thing, he didn't get no support. I don't know if he get now.
Who's that?
Anthony Williams.
But he's not going to get no support by. He's not going to get no support. He doesn't get support in point. You know? Anthony Williams support struck. Anthony can't even go by people's house. I'm dead serious.
And here it have a woman. She joined. Something TNM. TNM 2025 something. Then people have no shame, but none. They still want to represent TNM.
To do what? Represent
I don't
TNM?
know.
Do what?
I don't know. They have no shame. I will tell you why. TNM has no, what to call it, no support and nothing. All they're doing is the wrong thing. They're doing.
Normal.
Right? So we have to stand up and support the government. And I want to tell people, before I forget, all who talking about Dr. David Lee has to resign.
Dr. Who?
Let me tell you something.
Run back that for me. Dr. Who had to resign?
Dr. David Lee.
Report, stop calling up my minister name, please.
Well, I just want to tell them, my minister, I'm begging you for nothing.
Thank you.
He working and he working hard.
Yes.
And that's what we want.
And that's what we want. That's what we need.
And here what's going on. If those people who don't care and giving Minister David Lee what do you call it? Wrong information, saying wrong things about David Lee, we would have to give David Lee some support.
Come on.
David Lee had his problem, we could
Report, you had a fight
Right.
up. Report, let me explain to the people that small thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the position that Minister David Lee find himself in is not a problem of his own. There's no responsibility or no fault of his own. At the end of the day, this matter came up long before this 2025 general election. And brothers and sisters, it's not like Mr. David Lee didn't get the opportunity to present himself in court. The court had the opportunity to deliver the evidence. Based on the evidence that was insufficient, ladies and gentlemen, based on what unfold, Mr. David Lee already win that case. So what is taking place before our eyes in Trinidad and Tobago, what is being practiced, not by I could clearly say by the factual judiciary, because this was something distributed by the DTP. Correct me if I'm wrong, the Director of Public Prosecution. And if the Director of Prosecution does do investigation, because when you get down to the nitty-gritty of where Mr. David Lee is, the day when it's time to actually answer factual questions, the Director of Public Prosecution don't investigate. They look at the evidence before them. Now, brothers and sisters, it's either one out of two things were taking place in Minister David Lee case. It's either Minister David Lee is under a secret indictment, and if it's that, we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we will not be talking about it today. Or somebody is utilizing the resources of Trinidad and Tobago to play political games. Mr. David Lee, right now, today, as we speak, is under a double jeopardy structure. Ask any one of those demons that is in CARICOM. Ask the educated, the big boy, the THS, PNM. Double jeopardy is illegal. No amendment that is, especially when it comes to that. You cannot prosecute or try somebody twice for the same crime. That is irresponsible to be a part of that conversation. So when it comes to Minister David Lee, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to stand with our minister. Go ahead, Freeport.
I want to see that Faris Alwari comes to court. I want to see all of them that doing a lot of illegal things on the court. But what happened? Those people defending the PLM.
Yes.
Because you know
Report, feel free. You can
Faris.
talk to me. What is this Faris you're saying?
Yes,
Report,
I'm trying to remember.
I could buy over that too, and let me explain it for you too. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the conversation, today Minister David Lee is before the court under a double jeopardy structure. Now, mind me, any monies over $1 million, brothers and sisters, it must go through Parliament. Faris Alwari with the structure of CPEP. I don't want to blame the board, I don't want to blame the CEO, because they're trying to minus themselves from the conversation. They themselves explain to the public. They ran all the WhatsApp messages showing how they were manipulated by the minister, former line minister Faris Alwari. So if it's anybody who's supposed to be factually before the court, which they are, is Faris Alwari. We here in Trinidad and Tobago, we're not here about playing political games. The structure and where Mr. David Lee is at today is a blatant waste of time to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Somebody need to drag Faris Alwari to the front of the line. The people of Trinidad want to know who the hell give you the authorization to cut deal of over $104 million on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. When we look at the structure of CPEP, it goes down like rain. Faris didn't know how much people working. The board members didn't know how much people working. But yet still, the brothers and sisters who was in the public domain, breaking their backs and sweating, people were home receiving the same pay. Illegal.
I want input to answer. I want input to answer. Where the 3-point-something billion gone?
Thank you.
And nobody asking input to answer.
Yes.
Because the PNM is it. But no, PNM is okay. All of them is upset and blasted peace.
Thank you.
You know? And we have to support the UNC.
Yes.
And go forward.
Thank you.
They're not encouraging anybody to challenge input and This one from San Fernando,
Who's that, Brian?
right?
Big boy Brian?
Yes, he is one. And Paris Alwari is the next one.
Who you talking about? Multi-millionaire Brian Manning? Brian
Yeah.
Manning, who have $100 million to do a business on behalf of God knows who? While the CLICO member,
Where he get that from?
thank you very much.
Where he get that from?
Thank you very much. Good question. That should be the question of the day. If there's anybody supposed to be before any court, if there's anybody the DPP supposed to personally ask for investigation, CLICO board had no reason to be running to the police. The DPP supposed to have a personal interest in that case.
You're going on.
Mm-hmm.
It is alleged that the MDD have a lot of information and people going to AMDD who have control of AMDD and getting land that people formerly passed away.
Yeah.
And taking the land.
No, that structure will have to fix. That is not.
That's the why a lot of people complaining about Costa coming.
Yeah.
Have 12 and 15 and how much past land. Plus where he have land pension and Nutramic
Yeah.
get about 50 acres of land.
Yeah.
And that is Caroni land.
Caroni
Where
1975 Limited we talking about. So Nutramix was in the cane field cutting cane. Nutramix was dragging and bundling up cane. Them was walking with my brothers and sisters, taking the strain from all 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Nutramix get land. While Miss Kamala had to win election for some of the Caroni workers to get settled up to this morning, a Caroni worker who played his part did not receive his quota, so that means that list ain't close off yet. Nutramix get you. Report, go ahead.
Yes, and Nutramic could afford to buy a house for Barack Paul. And four sugar workers cannot get nothing. Courtesy.
Thank you.
Rowley and the PNM.
Yes.
And these jackass PNM people cannot see that 4 people catching their ass.
Yes.
And you supporting people who is $1 million.
Report, why you think that is? Why you think that is? It's because the former administration, and this is why I'm telling people that as soon as me and Freeport done here, we're going back on this police conversation, is because a lot of the people in this country, especially Africans, were told that we're not valuable. Look at what the former Prime Minister displayed in his cabinet. Let me show you the difference, Freeport. Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa is a East India. Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa picked Mr. John Jerome. Same Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa that picked Barry Padera. The same Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa picked the Dijame. The same Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa picked Black Rambudu. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Because I'm jumping in the African pool and I'm jumping in the Indian pool. Now, when it's time to be the engine room at the United National Congress, when it's time to handle our affairs, when it's time to talk about the Jamaica issue, you notice Mr. Sean Sobers coming to the front because he is a part of the UNC engine room. When it's time to talk about healthcare, you notice what's going on with Health Minister coming to the front because he is a part of the engine room. In the opposition government, the engine room of the People's National Movement, Miss Penelope Beckers never had an opportunity to play a part. Marvin Gonzalez was a mouthpiece. He cannot explain to you where $1 was spent. Ladies and gentlemen, the engine room of the People's National Movement was Rohan Sunanan, Kazem Hussein, Faris Alwari, Stuart Young, and Imbut. Everybody's fair skin. So when you look at the African diaspora in Trinidad and Tobago, who really practiced racialism in this country? On the point, thank you. On the point, the Trinidad and Tobago need to take a serious look at what was displayed Who showed who that African people, despite how educated or uneducated they are, don't deserve an opportunity to play a part in the upliftment? The former Prime Minister displayed that, and he marked that our opposition leader, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, that sits in the position doing her part, it is expected that we, the people, play our part. You don't have no reason for nobody to come and tell you, Miss Kamala, not supposed to have a big house. That is one of the most foolish conversations that I could ever have. Hold on.
Yeah, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
And then suffer the sugar hotel
Yes.
from 2003 to 2025.
Yes.
Kamala Persad-Bissessar had a 5-year ago, but she accepted the mistake she made.
Yes.
In less than 6 months, she gave out 310,000 calories.
Thank you.
CNN give out none.
Thank you.
So they don't care. They don't care. It's only people are going to say like Costa and Big Boy and they who could rob people.
Yeah.
Forget. You know?
Yeah.
That is the problem we have in Trinidad.
Yes.
And we have to correct everything now. All we have to do is to support the UNC.
Yes, man.
And things will go forward.
Yes, man.
And Jamaica, I want to say it again. Jamaica had the move against Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and
Doctor, the whole administration. What? Freeport, I just do it too. I just start to call name and when I send out love, and when you forget, you don't want nobody vex with you. So better you just send love to the whole administration, all the supporters and everything and done.
Yes, man. We send love to everybody who's supporting
yes, man.
the UNC and who's seeing the good thing the UNC.
Yes, man.
You know? And that is what we want.
That is what
we don't want no negative thing here because negative thing here putting in no way.
Nah.
All of them who's they thief money. Right? Because if you check all of them, from MPs to councillors, they thief money by the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And the supporter, I don't know what happened to PNM supporters. If they cannot see what's happening. But I want to support Donald Trump.
Yes.
Donald Trump doing the best. And all who vex with Donald Trump, always support Maduro. Always support Maduro.
Thank you.
Maduro begging now. Maduro begging now because he feels that if things getting out of hand against him.
Well, all you have to do is pack your bag and leave the people place. That all you have to do, pack your bag and leave the people place.
Yes.
That is all. But the nice thing, the bad thing with it is that the people of Venezuela didn't get the opportunity. Them didn't execute it like Trinidad and Tobago executed. Because one thing with this government beat the odds. PNM control down the elections and boundaries, and this government beat the odds. So let me tell you how God is in control of this.
I would want Kamala Persad-Bissessar to get rid of everybody in electoral boundaries. Because them is the whole problem. But the support was over there, they couldn't keep this election.
Yeah.
They keep the 2 elections before.
You're playing with them, Freeport. You're damn right. You're damn right. Freeport, let me get a little room, let somebody else get a call in, please.
All right, you take care.
Thank you much, big brother. Thank you much. Always a blessing hearing you. Doctor, my ladies and gentlemen, my lovely wife want to make a contribution here.
All right, good afternoon again, everybody. Can I give the people you're not easy. But nonetheless, so the call out before that had called with regards to information concerning the Venezuela US conflict. So there's no, I haven't come across any official declaration of war or statement from President Trump or his secretary.
Remember he said if he would not deal with Venezuela, he would not be.
Right, or his Secretary of State. But right now, as we speak, there are a couple of media houses who are live, and they are talking about it. Like within the past 2 hours, they are talking about it. And from what I gather is that the CIA have identified a list of locations in Venezuela that are being used in the process of the narco terrorism.
Hold on, don't drive past that. The CIA, that is in the news.
Yes.
The CIA has identified. Hold on, why I ask that? They didn't make no mistake and tell you it's the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
No.
Roger Alexander or the regiment force.
But Trinidad and Tobago is being mentioned.
We would be mentioned.
And our Prime Minister is being mentioned in her stance, in her support against narco terrorism.
Okay then.
Right? So she is being mentioned, and Trinidad and Tobago is being mentioned. In particular, the fact that we have the like warships and stuff like that around Trinidad right now.
We have the warships around Trinidad.
Well, we don't have them, but they are in the water.
Right.
So yes, so the CIA have identified specific locations in Venezuela that they are going to.
This is just want to clarify locations that they deem drug.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Drug control.
So that is what I came across in the news from Leon, CNN, and a couple of other.
All right. Others.
News outlets.
Others taking we on. We on it could rely on. And when you get chance, they will call. Nah, I had the phone. You'll call Ed and find out what's going on that side. Factually, no.
Yeah.
Wrongly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hear the conversation. So, yes, while it is that is the level at our topic. Based on what they're saying, Trump gave our instruction. We didn't get to it yet. Something happened. But here is. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters today. I want to speak. Let me close up this conversation with the police. To the police officers who was actually on the scene, where the police hit the woman, who quarreling and explaining to you that you're in the wrong apartment. I just said I wasn't there, and I just said we don't know the closing night, so we don't know if the police was there, and probably the whole group of people playing contangas. But either way, my responsibility is to call out the shortcomings that are seen. You see the long-time structure that used to be used under the PNM where you could come and kick down somebody's door and then wake up the magistrate to get the warrant? That know what it is UNC marketing. Over the years, our minister of Homeland Security, let me not get complacent, Mr. Roger Alexander, he sat back and he spoke about certain type of laws in Trinidad and Tobago and the authority that citizens have. Executing a warrant is part of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are the time, go back and find Mr. Alexander when he used to be on his program. Take your time and scroll down. Eventually, you go bounce it up. And something that I noticed with our police officers on that mission, well, it did not execute no warrant because everybody was asking. Something I noticed when the police officer who had the gun on his strap, and he was walking up, and the lady said, well, where are the warrant? The officer just make a U-turn and walk off because he know the right thing. Officer, that was rather disappointing because if it is, you know, them inside of that, them people place. And you know the rules. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr.
I'm okay, but I talk to you, man.
When the little people don't, you know, people get carried away and look at things just simple for what should.
Yeah.
I make judgment and feel that, oh, hey, hear what? This is wrong and this is right. But you see history and cultures and all these kind of things, it is take a little time, but once you take a little interest and go back and do a little research and understand how people think and their behaviors and what drives certain things that you see happening now, there's a bigger picture of your reality of it. You see this thing they call power? Power eliminated civilization, culture. It eliminated a whole generation of people and they
Yeah.
just power.
Mm.
And with the modernization of time, people cannot do the things that they used to do as bold as they used to do it before.
Yeah.
Like the Portuguese, how they with slavery and the Americans, how they wipe out the Apache people and all this kind of thing. Now they have to find out strategic ways to make it look good
Yeah.
in this modern time.
Yeah.
And the perfect example of that is the PNM and that percentage of people that controls Trinidad and Tobago. Now, they strategically use one race of people in this country
Yes. Yes.
for power.
Yes.
Now, everybody in this country does jump on this race, car thing, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, what we're supposed to be really doing in Trinidad and Tobago is being sympathetic and supportive of a whole culture of people in Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah.
that is being used and taken advantage of because of the greed of the power of a little culture of people who see that oh, there's real opportunities and there's vast amount of wealth to be earned by doing what they're doing in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And Eric Williams was a man that had been used and didn't realize what was taking place. Probably he benefited that because, you know, from history, but show you the people who supported the plantation owners and things.
Yeah.
Was the same slaves that they bring and put them in the house and
Thank
they
you.
were the most brutal ones towards their own
Their
people.
own people.
They were
Thank
the
you.
ones who would call the slaying, the lynching and the beating and all these kind of things because, you know, they want to show them who's in charge.
Thank you.
And these are exactly what has taken place in Trinidad and Tobago. When these people come to Trinidad and Tobago and they realize, because everybody will feel that Trinidad and Tobago was a wealthy place because of oil and gas.
That's
When
what
you go back,
Call, you see where you're touching there? You need to start to call a little more regular. Don't do us that.
Yeah. No, actually, people think that only wealth Trinidad and Tobago have for hand was because of oil and gas. But if you check back into history and realize the kind of trade used to come out from Trinidad and Tobago before we had oil and gas, where sugar, cocoa, coffee, because all that kind of thing. Trinidad was leading. And one of the top countries in the world. When Europe, France, and Spain, and Portugal, and America, and was containers. We, at that time, before we became independent, our export was over 12 million pounds.
Thank you.
And at that time, that is money like more than what Dubai and things happened.
Thank you.
And now, when these people have started to come migrate to Trinidad and Tobago, and then the position come where we started to look for independence and things. These people have already set up their trade links as to how they're going to control and monopolize this little country. So when they realize that, okay, there's two population races in this country, and we are a minority, and we have to control a majority of the population to gain the power. They decide to see this man they call Eric Williams, let me hold him. Let me rope him in and put him as the house man.
Right.
And
you gonna make him feel he's the leader.
Yeah. And through him now, we're going to start to divide this population.
Thank you.
To let the people and start to see one another as Indian and African, not as Trinidadian.
Hold on.
Because
hold on. To divide and rule, that is their only plan. Go ahead, caller.
Exactly. So their philosophy now, where they strategically think, and plenty people, if they look at the interview with Anthony Bourdain, when he had dinner with them in the night, and one of them come out bold and say, we just have small population, but we control. And Bourdain himself had to pull him up and say, hey, I know something to be proud of.
Thank you.
But these are these people that think when they're in their domain.
Yes.
Now,
They sit down and they strategically think how we could get the always remain in power, how we could now set up our business to take control of this population.
Thank you.
So, hear what? Let these people see themselves as Trinidadian. Although they are of different ethnicity, let them see themselves as Indian and African.
Thank you.
Let them see
the difference.
Let one population see that out here what this black African man that we making as prime minister in the country, that he is the savior for the African people.
Thank you.
But in order now for them to control this population, they have to always keep this group of people vulnerable. They have to keep them dependent.
Yes.
They had to keep them uneducated because they had to control them.
Yes.
Because anytime you become self-sufficient and strong in your own thinking, nobody can control you.
Thank you.
A man could tell you, hey, here what you're thirsty, and come and give you poison and you drink it.
Well, let me be right. We wouldn't say nobody can control you, but nobody can carry you now. You would make independent decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they did that. And then when they become more and more powerful, they started to create more and more divide.
Yeah.
You see what is happening right now in this country with this PNM supporting Venezuela and let me tell you something. You see with the introduction of this government right now, the 1% under real pressure.
Yeah.
You see that US money that used to be controlling in this country where all the US used to go to their businesses first and then it got trickled down to whoever all remains had to go through now.
Yeah.
They're under real pressure with us because I always tell people, that money don't have no value, And you see when they come and they set up all that business, the Starbucks and the KFC and all these franchise business, that's to launder the money out of the country. So when you see for years, when them used to be going with a trailer load of $50 for all the business that flowed in Trinidad and Tobago, and they throw that in the central bank and they tell people, hey, fix up that for me. Start the good, and then they ship out that money and that bank outside.
Yeah.
That's the people who understand how powerful this group of people is. And anytime anybody comes and starts to disrupt that line of their business, they will go hell on earth to get and disrupt them and make them support that government. And
this is where
this is where we
are.
You see the ones that are being used, the PNM that have been used. Why the population cannot wake up and understand that, okay, you have two sort of people, two race of people that enjoy independence at the same time.
Thank you.
One man saying because we are not admitted. The PNM party at that time represented the African people.
Yeah.
The UNC party or whichever party represented the Indian people.
Now, listen, Kola. Kola, let me tell you something. Our uncle, he deceased right now. That man, from the beginning of time, everybody in Point 14 could tell you from the DH, the party we Pandey them had before, coming into UNC. My uncle if my uncle hear anybody said that UNC was an Indian party, he was a UNC from the foundation. He looking for real ram. Because in his eyes, and this is what made me started looking at the party as an African, because when they tell me the average African, elders tell you that PNM is an African party and UNC is an Indian party. But my uncle, he challenged me. He said, Irvin, go and find the content where UNC tell people there is an Indian party. PNM tell people that. But UNC never market that. Pandey market it and Miss Cameline market it. They market that.
And let me put the reality to the situation now. Now, you have a government that represents your people, right? I come from Princeton area where my father been got cane, my grandfather and got cane. We is indentured laborers where we come from that environment.
What's that in Princeton, brother? Hold on. What's that in Princeton?
Ivory Village within that area.
All right, big brother. Well, I used to live Cedar Hill Village, Qatar Straight, so I want to send some love out to Cedar Hill. Go ahead, brother.
Well, oh God, you were supposed to know you would know my father personally, and think if you live there long enough.
Thank you very much.
We used to be Ramdela wrong every time in Ramdela.
Oh.
We used to be like in my inside cutter straight with one hand and then playing pool and all this kind of
So
thing.
then you know Kalai Skit then. You know Kalai Skit? Remember the skit?
I went to Irish for just some senior section.
Well, all right, them was my family up there. Well, you go ahead with your story. Lovely, all of is one family.
Now, how we grow up
within
that area, when you see a get up in the morning, you will see everybody lighting. I talked about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And everybody jumping out and heading down to the estate, see that hill,
yes.
Margaret 2,
yes.
the Cotton Key and come up by the road. And
yes.
everybody was like a unity, a family. Now, a generation of them same sort of people remain Cotton Key and things, but then they start to diverge. Where I could remember when I used to go and help my father cut cane, all the time by the pen into the hill and things.
Yeah.
When you see me pulling cane in the morning, so on, chopping and things, you still want to learn something. You like get to work? I say, but when you're young and you're strong and you could do anything, work will be hard. And especially when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I say, well, no, me I like you working, and you still want to learn something, you hard working. And if you want to remain in this, at that time I started going junior. So if you want to remain in this, you will continue and your whole life will end up in the end.
Yeah.
And it will just be a cycle.
Yeah.
So you see that little thing where I do for you to make sure and give you a little money to go in that place where they put them things in your bag.
Yeah.
Books.
Right.
Make use of that.
Thank you.
Make use of that. And so when I get in got cane and I will come and take some chlora and throw it in my hand. And when you chlora get white, you wash it out and your hand get back clean, all your nails and things like clean.
Yeah.
And you go to school. So yeah, because you want people to know that when I got clean and now you come and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So we want to take up the way of time and share my history and things like that. So I want people to understand how they was received. Yes. And when the thing that they were supporting something that's supposed to be better for them, it was really bad for them. Now I know that there are plenty of my brothers and things, African brothers and things, who together with me. Yeah. When we were cutting cane, their parents was already in the public service, policeman, working in the borough and all kind of things. Yeah. Well, yeah. There were plenty better off than us something. Yes. And with the mentality of how they was brainwashed and used. Where we are today and where are them today. Thank you. It is their sad reality. To know that they had only opportunity to be when we scraping up to get books and had to wear my brother's clothes and to go to school and things. That was living it out already that time. Yeah. Yes. You understand? Yes. But they were kept in that kind of oppressive mental way that they didn't get the opportunity to see, hey, what? It has plenty beyond this, to earn man and to get proper education and to cherish family life and to make sure and fun and build so that nobody can take advantage of it. Thank you. And there was and today now, a lot of them will regret that yes. They live off of freeness and that kind of thing. Thank you. And when you look now if I in charge of a diaspora and I see it, 90% of my people hoping that they could live off of some kind of handout. I see the jail, the majority of my people pulling it up. I see the family structure. The majority of them are single mothers with 2 grandchildren all over the place. Fathers turning to crime and things. I would say to myself, I am a failure as a leader. Thank you. Simple. Simple. And simple as that. Simple. I'm supposed to say now that, okay, what am I doing wrong? Who am I following? That I am leading this diaspora people. And this is the result I am seeing behind me. And the other side now, where these people don't have that kind of leadership, they more better than me in every single way. Yeah. When I drive through the communities, I think I am seeing these people found looking different from mine.
Why? You understand?
Yes, man.
And what have I put in place now? And when you hear man like one of them, there's one money. Just see them representing the African community. Let me tell you something. See them people too.
Talk to me.
No, I want to say it bold and brave. Platform I get ban and this. Them so could never ever represent me in any way. Now let me tell you something. People, and again they come, and the only way power could let me say be used against people is when you see you can't see for yourself, and you see that thing that that don't come from the beginning. That has come from that percentage of people who want to remain in power.
Right.
So they start to use the agents to say, hey, you know what, go out and shoot that propaganda outside it.
Yeah.
You see like the TV6 News and the Guardian and things, they got start to publish statements over there.
Yeah.
And then they got send them agents that question Kaplan, they got send their agents that question this one and thing, and they put stupid questions out of the domain.
Yes.
So that people can respond to that, and then you see how they're racist and how they're racist. And that will be the agenda
Thank you.
of that. Now, a lot of people portray and stigmatize Asmara as just big racist. You know, everybody is a talk because to come out and talk the truth. And if anybody should be proud of somebody who will lead them, it should be that be proud of Asmara. Because Asmara take people who used to be in Sacrofen, sit down with little candle and flamco, reading and studying. And now they are doctors and lawyers. And that he stick to that. He said he brings them from Sacrofen to university.
Yeah.
And you could see the track record of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha organization.
Yeah.
Where he stick to his philosophy and all the delegation and things they get and they put the ones in.
Yes.
His son stall and still take all the racist talk and things. But today, you could be proud to see that. Oh, look at the university, look at the doctors and the lawyers and the people in society, where they come from. What Kapratambon could say. What Eric Williams could say.
Thank you.
What Rowley could say.
I could tell you.
And become,
I could tell you what they would say. When somebody asks that question,
yeah.
Their response would be that that person is a racist. That is all they could say.
Exactly.
That is all the contribution would be. That is all.
Just imagine talking about war and how they're killing innocent people, America killing innocent people in the ocean, and we so concerned about that. But in 10 years, Rowley was Prime Minister of this country, and over 5,000 people get killed in this country. And over 75% of those 5,000 people are African.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't see that as war.
No, they say that they're good. They say they're good with that.
Yeah.
That is peace. We live in peace.
And he was the first man that lead a country that break the rate twice in consecutive years.
Thank you.
I'm proud about that. And people just see that.
To the street.
You understand?
Yes, madam. Kola,
No.
Kola, what's going on? I want to thank you for your call here. Over 20 minutes, I've been telling out your money on your phone. Right? So I want to close off the program tomorrow. Please, Lord, up again too. And I need you to call back. Right?
Yeah. No problem, man. I look forward.
Yes, man. Thank you much.
But let me tell you something wrong. I just hope that people in this country don't go down that narrative of this racist divide that you can say that politics and that a power agenda that is taking place, that a part of the population has been used to drive that.
Yeah. And
we have to wake up because let me tell you something. It's getting crunch time when we really start to build this country and put up India for Trinidad and Tobago. Otherwise, let me tell you something. It's going to look too nice for us in the future.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon. Take care, man, and enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you much for your contribution, Paula. Ladies and gentlemen, Paula, thanking you very much for your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, we are go for them train, but I want to deal with this issue. This conversation here, I am not for Trump, neither Obama, not UNC or PNM, because all are the same. God's creation, let me explain something to you. With such a heavy name, at God's creation, let me explain something to you. You see, when you're coming over to 648 television, don't come over here with them garbage, please. Don't come over here with them stupidness. If you is a big man and you're trying to push a conversation, come here and push your conversation. Obviously, how you have been typing before, anybody could see that you are PNM, that is seriously embarrassed, and with all the shame all in at the level and condition of this country. All your conversation and reach the arm. Well, PNM made some mistakes. Penny don't use up that. So you come over here now to tell me. So my responsibility is to let you know at God's creation that if you don't stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. You don't come here being no hypocrite after you don't support your PNM over the years, PNM lose election. All you sat back and allow the PNM to disrespect Patrick Manning. Stop coming here with garbage, please. So we have a country to run. We have a prime minister that actually navigating our country. You up in your feelings because UNC win its election. Now it's time for you to do some internal perspective. Brother, yeah, what's going on? Do some intervention among your people. Do some intervention among yourself. Don't come over here with garbage when it is you can't even put up a proper structure in the conversation. Right? It's not a day we on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you before I leave you. It have people in this country explaining that Trinidad and Tobago is a place of peace. I want to clarify for them. You don't call me, don't link me to tell me what CARICOM tell you is peace. You need to sit down and talk with your children. You need to get that dictionary. You need to sit down and be real with yourself and stop being a blatant hypocrite about you living in peace. You know what's the meaning of peace? When you could tell people that you're living in peace, that means you're living in freedom. Freedom from disturbance. Could you leave home in a taxi, normal, whether it's on your phone or the content come and meet you? It's violence like rain. You living in freedom? You living without disturbance? You living without disturbance. So when you hear a young lady going to make a report in the police station and a police officer who practicing misbehavior in public office because what it is he told that young lady was disrespectful. You living without disturbance. Listening, 4 young men jump out in the front of Pennywise with high-powered firearms. Unalive the security guards and them in the van. Thank God the police was on work. You living without disturbance. You living without disturbance when old people can make a cup of tea in the kitchen. The businessman can open business with safety. You living without disturbance. Trinidadian citizens, just long or less stupid conversation, especially those of you supporting the PNM. Tell Penny and them to cross-examine this. Tell the PNM crowd that tell you I stupid, tell you what I am saying is garbage. When you're done, listen rubbish. Pull your dictionary. When you're talking freedom, freedom is live peace. When you're talking peace, peace is freedom of disturbance. Like facts. Don't let nobody sell you no dream and tell you about CARICOM say this is a zone of peace. What zone of peace? Freedom supposed. What freedom means to you? What peace means to you? That is where we are in this country. What peace means to you? And you know why you have to think like that? Because Trinidad and Tobago is an independent nation. Venezuela can sit down and threaten you. They literally threaten you. And then the president of Venezuela turning around now, we're looking for peace talk. No problem with that. My prime minister never, ever, ever said she was looking for war. So as much as the president of Venezuela say he's looking for peace talk, the onus is on my prime minister. I support him with my prime minister. My prime minister, April 28, when she made the decision, my member of parliament for Point 14, when he asked the people at Point 14 to give him the support, we supported, expecting them to make the right decision. That's why we're talking here today. are continuing to encourage my Prime Minister. You stood for the people at Trinidad and Tobago, and you continue to stand for the people at Trinidad and Tobago. To the young people, it's time for us to get to work. It's time for us to bring out the ideas. Time for us to shift aside from the shortcomings. The budget have already been read. I can't continue coming every day to straighten out a set of garbage where a political group of failures, their supporters, a bunch of vipers, ran our country down to the ground, break the moral structure of the young people in this country. We get 4 grade of yam and 30 grams of marijuana to walk the road with. Stuart Young end up with a high-rise, sorry, in both end up with a high-rise building in Port of Spain. We get 4 grand of yam. Brian Manning end up with $100 million. $100 million we end up with unemployment and CPEP and URP. Foster Cummins end up with millions of dollars in contract. We end up with CPEP and URP. We finally were doing business, end up exposed. The businessman who trying to open business cannot acquire US. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, together we aspire, together we achieve. To each and every one of you who have come to terms with that, ain't nobody's supposed to convince you. One Indian person, if you and an Indian man fall out in point, Sando, Claxton, Bay, Rio Claro, you and he fall out, not you and the whole community. What level of dotishness is this? And all you're still jumping up and talking a pack of garbage. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, let me stay focused and let me stay blessed. This party always on time with this. The UNC supporters always on time with this. To the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, my responsibility is to remind you, we ain't forget you. We ain't forget you. To the police service, we ain't forget you. We expect better of you. We understand the shortcomings that you were dealing with. We understand that you need the new equipment. The government understood that all they needed manpower. This is why they incorporated the Special Reserve Police Service into the police service and hired more Special Reserve officers. Understand what is taking place. Your cries didn't fall on deaf ears. Young people, every shortcoming that you spoke about, every time you pull in a corner and think about doing crime, every one of you who get locked up and behind the prison gates right now because all you practice illegal activities, because you felt it had no hope. They told you that the Indian man is your enemy. He want you to fail. He hates you. But when you get there, walk by, he paying you. He don't like you. But when Indian people check for you, they're going down, dying for you. Me and them, ladies and gentlemen, let me stay focused and let me stay blessed. Brothers and sisters, to the police service, the police officers, and then with the situation with the woman yesterday. One of the questions is, all right, if they had the apartment because we wasn't there yesterday. But the fact remains is based on the activities and the questions that was asked and the actions from the police officer. When the question was asked, where is the warrant? And the officer walk off and leave his fellow officers in the people's place. As saying that we don't do people that we have a new government. I understand everybody was stressed and anything that go before April 28th, anything goes in Trinidad and Tobago, you drop with your gun in your waist, you walk out the road, you lick down for 5 man and come back home and drink a cup of tea. And the watchmen and the government that was in charge will fight your case to make sure that you stay out on the nation's roadway. They wouldn't fight your case for you to get a proper job. It's either you're doing criminal activity or you're cutting grass. Pick one out of the two, make up your mind. That is the door opportunity for you in Trinidad and Tobago under the former administration. It's either you're busting your gun or you're cutting grass. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. And I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, look at the structure of Trinidad and Tobago. Look how many sportsmen and sportswomen. Look how many educated people. Look how many different people who make contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. We have enough thing to hold on to. If you're fed up and you say, well, boy, I'm over talented and he's African, well, then learn chutney. That is something that could sell. You say you're fed up with the Hindi thing, learn to play pan, that could sell. Learn to play tassa, learn to play the spiritual drum, learn to be a part of your culture. Because when our football and our cricket team move out, when our brothers and sisters going to represent Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be Miss World or Miss Universe, it has been a blessing to them when we unite as a people in Trinidad and Tobago to support, to celebrate, to endorse. This is what we are. This is what we born and meet. It's time we stop you that nasty PNM structure. Utilize what we develop in our community. Come on. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, we in this together. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I continue to endorse my Honorable Prime Minister, and I encourage you to do the same. I endorse the young men and the young women in the communities. I encourage you to do the same. I endorse the businessman and the businesswoman. I encourage you to do the same. Brothers and sisters, together we aspire, together we achieve. Once again, my name is Felix. This has been our next episode, a real talk. Kevin, I see what it is you put up, and I'm thanking you very much in advance. I see it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, when you're talking about peace, the meaning of peace is freedom from disturbance. That is the meaning of peace. So if you could explain to me as a Trinbagonian citizen, you living without disturbance in your community, bring the evidence in, bring the data, because every community was affected throughout this country. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I love each and every one of you. The big shot, the small shot, nobody didn't escape it. We are at war. Trinidad and Tobago is at war, and the war is against crime. It's against illegal activities, against illegal behavior, illegal actions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Irvin, and I am out. I continue to send love to my member of parliament for Point Fortin, Minister Kiza. I send love to my Prime Minister and every representing factor in the United National Congress. I want to send some love to my brother Don Warden Woodlands. I send some love to my sister Crystal in the MP office. I send in some love to my brother Fitzroy Dees. I send in some love to my big brother Mr. Moore in Point Fortin. I send in some love to the whole UNC Point Fortin. Sister, you invite me to the Diwali celebration. Oh God, I forget your name now. But and I'm here, so I can't remember. But don't get no harass. Thank you very much to the Hindu community, the Christian community, because at the same time in the Open Bible, I don't forget to tune in tonight. Tonight is evangelism. So I would bring the information for your life. Matter of fact, we will utilize YouTube and Facebook at the end of the day, despite what you're going through and what you're experiencing. Our responsibility is not to condemn how no man pray. I encourage people, you're wrong Hindu people, and you're feeling down, you're feeling battered and bruised, move in, listen to the God-fearing people. Listen to them, talk to you, talk over your life. You're down, you're battered and bruised, you're wrong Christians, allow the good ones, because that's some of them how they play dress up and can't go to church without their gold chain. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you all, let me stay focused and let's stay blessed. Until we meet again tomorrow, please, the Lord, love all you.